Do you have your shirt on?
Last I checked, I did, yes. Why?
Do you have your shirt on?
Black Red Radio, Episode 7, 14 questions, with Hall of Famer, Hal McCoy.
Hello, Reds fans. This is Mike from WhackReds.com. You're listening to 14 Questions, Episode 7, with Hal McCoy. How you doing today, Hal?
I'm doing fine, Mike. Hope everybody else is doing well.
Before you retired after last year's 2009 season, you wrote for the Reds for 37 years. You attended over 7,000 games and wrote over 18,000 stories, covering Pete Rose all the way to Pete McCannon. You're doing all kinds of work at Fox Sports Net. You do your normal Sunday Ask Hal column, which is great. Would you please pitch your blog to any of our listeners out there that might not know what you're doing over at the Dayton Daily News, Real McCoy?
Yeah, I do a blog. I did a blog when I was still covering the Reds as a beat writer, and so when the newspaper decided that they couldn't afford to cover the Reds either home or away anymore and offered a buyout, I took a retirement, but they also offered me 1/4 of the salary that I was making at the time if I would continue to write a blog 4 or 5 times a week and do my Sunday Ask Hal.
Oh.
And also along the way, FoxSportsOhio.com offered me a position covering all the home games and writing stories after the games, and also doing a interactive chat. Every home game I talk to all the fans. They send in questions and I answer them, and it's a lot of fun. It makes the game go a lot faster and gets the fans involved and keeps me active. So now I just tell people I'm semi-retired, but sometimes I think I'm doing more work than I did before.
Well, it's a full-time job, that's for sure.
It has been. The only thing I don't have to do is travel anymore, and that suits me fine. No more getting up at 4 a.m. to catch an airplane and hope my suitcase gets there and hope my flight's not canceled and hope my hotel room is there when I get there. It's taken a lot of stress out of the job.
How did you get into writing, and more importantly, how did you get so into baseball?
Well, I played baseball since I was like 3, 4 years old. My father was a semi-pro pitcher, and he used to take me out in the backyard and start me playing catch and throwing the ball around like by the time I could walk. And I played Little League and Pony League and high school and American Legion, and I got a partial scholarship to Kent State University to play baseball there. And it didn't take me long to figure out that I couldn't hit the curveball, and the college ball was about as far as I was going to go in baseball. If I wanted to stay with it, I was going to have to do something else. Well, my other passion and love was newspapers, and as a kid, I always read a baseball beat writer who covered the Cleveland Indians for the Akron Beacon Journal named Jim Schlemmer, and I would read his stories every day. And so when I went to Kent State University, my major was journalism, and decided, okay, I'll just combine the two. I'll write and cover baseball, so I'll cover both my passions in one endeavor.
You mentioned your retirement, how the Dayton Daily News shrunk their Ohio sports budget, basically. Mostly you're just getting Associated Press stories through that newspaper nowadays. What do you think the future of the newspaper is, and just the future of reporting in general? And do you think the lack of a local perspective on the team is affecting the attendance and just the general popularity of the Reds recently?
Well, it's not a good thing to watch the newspaper business die, and that's what's happening. It's happening all over the country. I've seen a lot of my good friends who are baseball beat writers get put out to pasture, and they're a lot younger than I am, and I'm very fortunate in the fact that I was at retirement age when this happened, so it didn't affect me that much, but I really feel bad for a lot of the young guys coming into the business because newspapers are dying. There's no doubt about that, and the Internet is the future, but the one good thing is they always need somebody to write, whether it's for the newspaper or whether it's for the Internet, and I think everything is just swinging over from newspapers to the Internet, and all the websites that are out there are available now. So I don't think that's affecting attendance that much, the demise of the newspapers. It's just sad to pick up a great newspaper like the Dayton Daily News used to cover everything, the Bengals, Ohio State, the Reds, anything major, and be there in person. And now they don't even leave Montgomery County to cover anything. It's a sad state of affairs.
Yeah, you've been covering the Reds for a long time before all of this, before the internet, before blogging, before Twitter. I myself grew up reading you in Dayton, which was fantastic, living so far away from Cincinnati, but still having a point of view that was local. Do you think these new advancements in media helps or hinders journalism?
Well, it certainly hinders the newspaper business, which is, that's as a dinosaur myself and a dying breed. That's what you think of when you think about journalism. But that's going by the wayside now. It's Facebook and Twitter and blogging and it's a whole new world. It's a whole new world of communications, and we all have to adjust to it. And the sooner we adjust to it, the better off everybody will be. And as a guy who was back covering the baseball team with a typewriter back in the 60s and 70s, it wasn't easy to make the switch. First of all, it wasn't even easy to make the switch to laptop computers. And now when you go into all the media that is available now and making the switch, it's something you have to do, and it's something that I had to do, and now I enjoy it, and it's the way information is decimated now.
Let's talk about these exciting Reds of this season. You said in late June that they would win the division by 5 or more games. Why were you so sure that they were going to do that with over 3 months left to go in the season, and how do you think they got to where they are right now?
Well, number one, back in June, it was pretty evident that the other 4 teams in the division, the Brewers and the Pirates and the Cubs and the Astros, were not very good. They were not going to put up any kind of a challenge, so it was going to come right down to the Reds and Cardinals. And I thought the Reds were every bit as good as the Cardinals. At the time I made that prediction, the Reds were playing very good baseball. It was at a time when they were coming back from behind to win games and winning games in their last at-bat. And no matter what Dusty Baker did, whatever the pinch hitter he used, if somebody was hurt, whoever he plugged in, that person would always contribute something. And it just looked to me like the Reds were the team of the year, the kind of anointed team this year, the one that was going to be able to hang on and do it all. So I thought, and the Cardinals had been there, I know, so many times every year they're there, but I just thought this year it looked to me like it was going to be the Reds' year, so I made that my prediction, and fortunately it looks like it's going to come true.
One thing that's definitely got us there is the pitching. Volquez pitched 8 innings, struck out 6. I think it's his 3rd good outing since he did rehab in Dayton. Do you think he'll make the rotation behind Arroyo and Cueto? And who else do you think will make the playoff rotation?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, from what Volquez has done his last 3 starts, to me, he might even be the number 2 starter. I mean, Arroyo is going to be number 1 with his 16 wins and makes his start every time out there. Cueto and Volquez, it doesn't matter which way they go, they'll go 2 or 3. And in the first round of the playoffs, of course, it's a 5-game best of 5, first one to win 3 wins. So they probably only need 4 starters, and the 4th starter will probably be between Homer Bailey and Travis Wood. Now, if they play the Philadelphia Phillies, if I'm the Reds, Travis Wood is in there. The Phillies are loaded with left-handers, and the last time Wood faced him, he almost pitched a perfect game against them. So he would be a logical choice. If it was somebody else, I think it still comes down between Bailey and Wood to get that 4th spot.